Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia, and please come and join me for coffee or tea or whatever you want. I have a muffin today. You can bring toast or whatever you want or nothing. Maybe it's in the afternoon that you're joining me for coffee. You can have cheese and crackers, whatever. But today I have sort of a topic. Hopefully I won't ramble on and on and on. Without saying anything, but have you ever noticed that you never noticed? I know, does that even make sense? Well, I'm not quite sure how to express what I'm trying to say, but I know what I want to say, and hopefully you'll understand what I'm talking about. Have you ever looked in the mirror and said, how the heck did that happen? I know you have, because I see it in the comments all the time. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize who's there. I wonder who that old lady is. I think my house is haunted. Those are some of the comments that I get. And I get it because I feel the same way. You're seeing a spruced up version of myself, but when I look in the mirror, like first thing in the morning, like that video that I posted yesterday, I say, what the heck is going on with you? But when I see a younger picture of myself, I'm kind of stunned. I say to myself, wow, you were pretty. You were attractive. You weren't fat. Why did you think you were fat all the time? I know that that's not an unusual thing for people, because I know many people think that they're fat when they're not fat. And society has us thinking that we have to be, models or whatever. Well, I'm a TV star, so what can you say? But I'm always struck by it. Wow, I was not as bad as I thought I was. And then I look at myself in the mirror. You're seeing like a little spruced up version of myself. But when I see myself first thing in the morning, I say, who the heck is that? And I know you all do that, because I hear comments like, I don't know who's looking back at me. I don't recognize that person. I think there's a stranger in my house. I think my house is haunted. I heard that one. So we're all kind of shocked at how we've changed. But we never really noticed it happening, did we? Some of those pictures, those old pictures, are unbelievable. I wish I had the energy to dig some of them out and show you. I mean, I look at those pictures now and I say, you were as skinny as a rail. Why did you think you were so fat? I did my whole life. And then eventually I did get fat. I guess sometimes you become what you think. So I want to talk about today how often we don't notice that we're growing older. We don't notice because we live with ourselves. We live with our spouses or our partners or our children, or even if we live alone, sometimes we see people in the community, our friends. We see these people all the time, and we don't notice that they're changing. Maybe some people, but for the most part, you just go along with the flow, and you don't even notice, except when you look in the mirror and you're like, whoa. So the changes that happen to us are almost like imperceptible. Is that a word? It sounds pretty fancy, and I probably didn't say it right, but these changes you hardly notice, and that's what I'm talking about. Did you notice that you didn't notice? But looking back, I have noticed some things, And you probably have too. I'm much stronger than I ever thought I could be. I am like Superwoman, and I don't mean physically strong. I mean mentally strong. And I bet every single one of you is mentally strong too. Because some of you are dealing with terrible things that I can't even relate to. I can because I was a nurse, but I've never had to do that. I mean, I had a knee replacement, and I dealt with the pain and everything, but I was shocked that I had to learn how to walk again, even though I knew that that's what I could expect. I'm smarter. I'm wicked smart. Well, should I say wise? I don't know if I'm really smarter. I'm sure I have the same IQ, but I'm a lot wiser. A lot wiser. I think I'm pretty amazing, actually, because I'm just wise. What can I say? I'm also, I think I told you, an authority on everything, so watch out. Just take what you want from what I say, because sometimes I think I'm a know-it-all. But we don't notice ourselves because we see ourselves every single day. We see our friends, we see our spouses, whatever. So when you look in the mirror, you just see the you of yesterday. Yesterday meaning yesterday, not a long time ago. I mean yesterday. Do you understand what I mean? I mean not today, but yesterday. The changes are gradual. They build into our I'm sorry. I think I'll take a bite of muffin so I can gather my thoughts. This is a blueberry muffin from that stash that my daughter-in-law sent me. There were banana nut muffins, and then there were blueberry muffins. There's only 4 of them, so I have to be careful. I don't want to eat them every day because I have my other muffins that I made. So I have to make these stretch because I really don't like baking. Okay. Think about a friend that you haven't seen in years. An example I can give you is I went to my 50th class reunion for nursing school. Now, I didn't maintain contact with most of those women except, it was an all-girls school. There were 2 nuns in it, too. But I didn't maintain contact with them except, email things and stuff like that. But I was never close to any of them, and I just never was. So I went to the 50th reunion. I could recognize people, but they were a bunch of old ladies. And I said to myself, it's a good thing I'm not like them. Because our minds tell us that we're much younger. We think much younger. I think a lot younger. Not all of us do. Some of us get into, I'm so old. Well, it's a status symbol to be old, I guess. That's what they say anyway. And those over 85, you are in elderhood. You should have your crown on. Next time you come to coffee, wear your crown, wear your lipstick. Mine isn't showing up too well today. It's probably because it's on my coffee cup. So the reason that they feel so old, that they look so old, is because you haven't been with them. You haven't seen the subtle incremental changes that they're also going through, that you're also going through. We tend to think that we'll always look the way we looked, or the way we look today. We think we'll look this way forever. Well, I hate to tell you, but it ain't happening. That's what I'm excited about this channel, because we can grow old together. You can watch me as I age. How cool is that? Now, my plan is right now, but I change my plans every other day. Right now, I plan on having coffee with you until I kick the bucket. Now, there may be time when I have to cut down or whatever, but I plan on doing it even if I'm not feeling well or whatever. If I get dementia, I probably won't know that I'm supposed to do this, but hang in with me, because you're going to see me age. This lack of noticing can actually mask the march of time for us. Our identity is often attached to how we feel, our memories, our experiences, which makes it harder to actually recognize the subtle changes that we see in the mirror. Well, in my case, they're not subtle. They are drastic, trust me. And I bet those people that think that their house is haunted, those changes are pretty drastic. So. But you slowly get the message. You slowly get the message that as your children grow, I mean, they were babies and they were adolescents, and then they were married, and now they're having children, and now their children are having children, and then their children's children are having children, and some of you are great-grandmothers. That hasn't happened yet. I hope it doesn't happen too soon, but I hope it does happen before I pass away. My grandchildren are like 21 and 19, the oldest ones. Hey, it could happen any day, because I was 20, almost 21 when I first got married, so I guess. And then there are the teenage pregnancies and all that. Anyway, see, I get off the track. I need to have more. Before you know it, you are now the matriarch or the patriarch of the family. I can liken it to, my sister has a family reunion, just select family members and their families, every year in the summer, and we go. She does this fabulous feed with lobster and clams. She and my other sister kind of put it on for the rest of the family. And we have a group photo done every year, and to see the drastic changes, the changes that have occurred over the years. I think she's done it for over 40 years anyway. So you see my parents as young adults with toddler children. I mean, not toddler children, with grown children that have their own families. How could I see my parents with toddler children? I was one of my parents' children. Anyway, and then the next year, all the kids are bigger. You don't really notice the adults that much. You don't pay attention to them. You say, wow, Johnny got really big over the summer, over the winter, since last year. And you keep taking those pictures and taking those pictures. And pretty soon your mother and father have gray hair, and your aunts and uncles that are there have gray hair. And the kids are teenagers or they're young adults, and now they're bringing their girlfriends and their spouses. And then the next year they're bringing their wives. And then the next year they're bringing their babies. And your parents have to sit now to get the picture taken, and the aunts and uncles that are the same age. And you're standing behind them, and then there's this whole group of people around you. Isn't that cool? That two people my parents, your parents, had children, and their children had children, and their children had children, and how that family grew. How cool is that? That's a miracle in itself. I told you we were walking, talking miracles. So anyway, in the next picture, the aunt is gone. She's not in the picture because she passed away. And then in the next picture, your father's not there because he passed away. In the next picture, your mother, or your aunt, or your uncle, somebody passed away that year. And so that core group of the elders of your family are slowly passing away, year after year, some 2 in 1 year. And all of a sudden you realize, I cannot believe that I am the oldest one in that family, in that gathering. I am the oldest one. So what does that mean? Am I going to be in the picture next year? I don't think so, because she's not having it anymore. But seriously, isn't that kind of scary? But how did it happen? How did it happen and we didn't even notice that it was happening? But we have to accept the fact that we're aging. I have a hard time with that, but you know what's happened? Since I've done this channel, I've done a 360. I have accepted it, sort of. I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm getting there and I'm really trying to accept it. This is a beautiful stage in our lives, so they say. And it is if you stop and you be mindful and you stop and smell the roses and pay attention to all the good things that you have just at your fingertips. I have a muffin. I bet there were times that some of you couldn't afford a muffin, or you didn't have a kitchen to cook your muffin in. We've come a long way. Some of us still are in those circumstances. I'm blubbering and I'm not talking about aging. I've got to look at my notes. I was telling you how I have come, or I'm coming to realize that yes, I am aging, and no, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's just
Cynthia,
different.
Here is your reminder, asking if I took my medication.
Alexa, stop reminder. I have to ask her to remind me every day to take my medication, because there have been times when I forget. And I accumulate them, after a while. The bottles pile up because I have them automatically renewed. One of the reasons that I'm starting to accept this, my lot in life, and that I am aging, is you folks. I am so glad that I found you. I had no idea that there was such a need for people to get together for coffee and talk about these things. These are real things. We don't even notice how we're aging. I am eternally grateful for you folks. So let's take a moment and just accept that we're on this journey and accept the good that comes with it. My son and his wife and my grandson just called me. What are you doing, Nana? Well, I'm recording a video. Anyway, they said, watch what you say about us. I said, well, watch it tomorrow and you'll see if I said anything about you. So, It's not easy. But remember, as one of our commentators says, happiness is an inside job. And we have control of how happy we are. I'm happy today because the sun is shining, and trust me, it has been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. I also had wanted to tell you today when we had our coffee was that people have been commenting, and we need some help. When I did the channel on, the video, the talk on ice cream pops and the ice cream truck, one woman commented that she remembered a frozen treat that when you got to the bottom, it was on a plastic stick, and when you got to the bottom of it, there was an imprint or like a charm on the top of it, and they were collector's items. She couldn't remember what the name of them were, of those particular pops were. I don't know, I don't speak English very well either. But we need help trying to figure that out. AI doesn't even know, but they gave me some ideas. So let me see. They said, I can't find it, but somebody out there has got to remember what this was. I can actually feel the texture of the charm on my tongue. And when we were kids, we used to save those. So anyway, I'm going to close for now because I think this was kind of not that great. I might re-record it. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure that you come back for coffee tomorrow. I will see you then, and I'm going to be checking to see if you're here because I don't want any empty seats.